Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are. This is Kenyan Revolutionary for another session today. New Wednesday. Oh, hallelujah. Glad to see everybody. Glad to see everybody. I'm giving you guys time to, just take your time. I know some of you are leaving work in Kenya, so it's evening. Some of you are just getting in. If you're in other parts of the world, nevertheless, I'm here. I'll be here for approximately an hour or an hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours max, maybe. I don't know. Maybe less, maybe more. But there's some things I want to mention, some things that I want to rant about. And hopefully later on, after my rant, I will put the link in for anyone who wants to come in, so we can have this discussion. I'm again. All right. Pritpa Kaur, I see you. Thank you so much for getting in. I see you. Karibu sana. Kahawa. Okay. So much to cover. So you see, latest on the Adani case. And then Ruto was in Kisumu yesterday where he was greeted. There's kind of conflicting reports about Ruto's visits in Kisumu. I saw a clip where, Ruto was in Kondele and, the people who were paid to be there. I don't know if you guys saw the clip by Okiya, the Professor Okiya, who was dishing out cash before Ruto went to Kondele. Obviously, these guys were there to give him cash to go cheer Ruto once he gets there. As you know, Okiya is one of the biggest, sycophants, Ruto sycophants, okay? And even that ODM one meeting in a hotel, there was a clip of ODM representatives meeting in, I think, Swiss whatever hotel in Kisumu, where they were being given the money that they should go distribute, give the people, pay the wananchi to show up to Ruto's event. We'll get to all of that. Karibu sana. Then Okiya Omtata. Let's dissect this man a little bit further. Let's just dig in and see what this man is all about. Now, his struggle for Kenya, his record is impeccable as far as, him fighting for Kenya or fighting for the rights of Kenya, of the constitution of Kenya, that is. We know about him tying himself in the parliamentary gates. We know about him being punched and losing 10 front teeth or whatever the case is. We know about him telling us about him, people trying to bribe him, 9 million or whatever the case is. We'll dig into that. But there's also some other part of it where people are asking who is really, really, really bankrolling Okiya Omtata. Okay, I watched a Spice FM interview by him, and he was asked, hey, listen, all these people, volunteers and people who are coming to work for you, how are you going to pay them? And he made it clear that he will pay it from his pockets, which is okay. Fine, because he said he has different businesses. Then I went to read Francis Gaitho's text and, Twitter's, not Twitter text, Twitter page, X, now known as X. And, he was saying some things that might be true, might not be true, but we are here to ascertain the truth, where basically he was saying Okiya Omtata has been close friends with Hanifa and Boniface Mwangi. Boniface Mwangi, we know he's been getting money from the NGOs, international bodies, for his activism. That's why they usually, try to, popularize this whole idea of LGBT in Kenya and so forth, that stuff like that. Boniface Mwangi, for those of you who might be wondering where do I stand with Boniface Mwangi, I do not trust him. I don't think he's genuine. I think it's driven by whoever is paying him, which in this case might be all this, maybe whether it's Ford Foundation or whoever. I saw him take a picture with Bill Gates. I don't know really what that was all about, but I'm not just going by what Francis Gaitho said. Of course, I took that into consideration before I made up my mind about Boniface Mwangi. But that day when he went to the DCI, and they spent 3 hours in there with Hanifa and some other activists. And when they came out, they were kind of, the press conference was incoherent. They seemed like they were up to something. I'm not convinced. I think that guy is not somebody I don't trust him personally. So I don't. That's up to you. If you trust him, that's fine. I don't trust Boniface Mwangi. I do not trust Hanefa Sarfi, whatever her name is. But anyway, so basically, Francis Gaito is making the case that Okiya Omtata's relationship with Boniface Mwangi, which goes a long time, I guess, suggests that, these guys are being paid by the same paymaster, okay, which is the people from the West, okay? So the question is, who is behind Okiya Omtata? One thing I know for a fact, I had Jimmy Wanjigi when he was in Spice FM. He made it very open, clear that he does help Okiya Omtata sometimes with the court cases, as far as filing those things financially. He does, not in everything, but as far as with the court cases that he goes, put forth in the courts, Jimmy Wanjigi does help Okiya Omtata. So, but that's not enough to say that Okiya Omtata is compromised, okay? At this point, I'm still team Okiya Omtata until further notice. But I am carefully looking at him and his friends, the people he associates with, kind of make me uneasy. But we'll get to all of that. Hopefully, we'll cover all this stuff within the next 2 hours or so. But let's see how this goes. Let's get started. But before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, you know the deal. You know the first order of business. When you get here, the first order of business is what? You need to like the video before you even do anything. Hit that like button. And after you do, guess what's the next thing you have to do? If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Halafu tuendelee. Share it to the friends in your WhatsApp groups and all that stuff. So let's get started. I'm freestyling my way to this. I didn't plan anything. I just have a bunch of things that I want to talk about. So if I'm going all around and I'm all over the place, please bear with me. Now, I don't plan anything. I just come here and just talk and rambling, and whoever gets in after now will get to that. Now, I want to start with this first thing. First things first. First things what? First thing first. Alfred Mutua. I want to start with Alfred Mutua. This man is out of line. He is out of line. And I'm telling you, this is just, let me just get to it. He went to somewhere, I think in, was it Rift Valley or somewhere, whatever, Eldoret, with this government campaign to try to recruit people, to ship them somewhere in Saudi or whatever the case is for this shitty jobs and for shitty pay. I'll let you, and people actually started booing him. And his response is what really made me even more angrier than anything. The way he responded to the heckling. He basically said, I don't owe you anything. I mean, you are a cabinet minister. You owe us everything. You have been entrusted by the people to carry out a certain task. Give them service them, cater to them. You are a government employee. The people employed you. Yes, you're not working for Ruto. We picked Ruto. He is the president. He's representing us. He's supposed to carry out the administrative duties of the state on our behalf. He works for us, not the other way around. So for Mutua to come out and say that he owes us nothing, that really rubbed me the wrong way. I almost punched my screen when I saw this man speak the way he spoke. He should have been stoned to his miserable death. That was outrageous, to say the least. Let me play you the clip so we can get started, okay? Before I get beside myself, let's get to the clip first, okay? Because Alfred Mutua, I don't know what he was thinking, but anyway, like I say, get started by tafadhali mukae mstari wa mbele. As my buddy would say on the other side, mukae mstari wa mbele. And please like, share, subscribe, and do all the good stuff. Let's get to Alfred Mutua. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades? Are you ready? let's get this clip. Okay, let me start with this clip. 20 kazi. Let's go. Here's the first clip. I will start with this one. If I can get it here, let's do. All right, here's Alfred Mutua.
Nyinyi mmezoea kudanganywa si ndio? Mmezoea kudanganywa Excuse me. Excuse me. Listen, Listen. Excuse me. Just listen to me, This is not a joke. We're dealing with people's lives. Kama uko na shida na anything we are doing with our process, toka peke yako uende. We owe you nothing, you owe us nothing. I want discipline. Nasikia? Kama una kelele hapa, I don't deal like that. Sawa? Nimesema I want a few examples of the people who have been given because I want to explain to you the process so that you understand. Nyinyi mmezoea kudanganywa si ndio? Mmezoea kudanganywa Excuse me. Excuse me. Listen, Listen. Excuse me. Just listen to me, This is not a joke. We're dealing with people's lives. Kama uko na shida na anything we are doing with our process, toka peke yako uende. We owe you nothing, you owe us nothing.
Hold on.
I want discipline. Nasikia?
I want to pause right there when he says, we owe you nothing, or whatever the case is. Number one, Alfred Mutua, you are a government CS. You work for the government. You work for the people. So you owe us some decency. Number one, don't tell us that is to 20 wapi we don't owe you. Yes, you owe us. You work for us. We, as the people of Kenya, expect services from you. Number one, people expect the government to create opportunities, jobs, creating jobs here in the land, in the state of Kenya. We do not expect you to ship us out in countries overseas to go work shitty jobs, as I said. You know what's that called? That's called slavery. I don't know if you learned something about transatlantic slavery or the slavery that happened in the Middle East. They came in Africa, in the continent, found some young men and women who looked like they could work hard, strong, and negotiated with the sellouts of the time, put them in the ships, and took them overseas where they used them in all sorts of manner, violating every human rights you can possibly think of. They were not paid. They were sexually assaulted. They were whipped, physically assaulted, mentally. Everything you can imagine. You might look at me and say, oh, no, this is not slavery. No, think about it. What is slavery? Slavery is basically working, forced labor, which you either get paid meager wages or not getting paid at all. Now you might say, oh no, there are people who have been sending overseas and they're working and they're happy. Name one, because there's plenty of cases in the Middle East where Alfred Mutua wants to send our young men and women, where they complain of being overworked, not being paid, or not being paid enough. You know, their passport is taken by the employer, And if you're a woman, even some men, you're forcefully forced into having sex with the employer, rape, sexual assault, beaten up. And when you try to go tell your embassy about the escape from the place of work and go tell the embassy about the assault that's happening, nothing happens. Alfred Mutua comes in and tells us, first of all, they ask you for exorbitant amount of money to apply for these jobs. Remember when he went to one of these Main Street media in Kenya, and was asked to name the name of the company that is employing these people that want to employ our young men and women. And he couldn't name the name. And here he is, he's coming in, telling a lie, as my friend Pritipal Kaur has said, and arrogantly tells the people that actually employs him, people who pays his salary, the people who are the reason why he is having that position he has in the government, telling them that they owe him nothing. And that if they don't like it, they need to walk. I don't know why they didn't stone this charlatan when he said that. They should have grabbed him, beat him to a pulp, beat some sense through his lobotomized brain, tear off his clothes, whip him to a vegetative state, then haul his body to the nearest hospital, chain it in a hospital bed, and force him to eat cow shit for 7 days with horse urine, and remind him that Kenyans are sovereign. We are not going to buy into the modern slave trade that he is being a part of. Alfred Mutua should not be holding his position, should not be speaking or addressing the Kenyan people anywhere. This is an outrageous claim by this idiot. Listen to what he just said one more time. I'm proud of the people who are heckling him. I just wish they could have taken a step further. Listen to him. I'll play it for the last time, because the more I get it, they listen to him, the more I get agitated.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Listen, Listen. Excuse me. Just listen to me, This is not a joke. We're dealing with people's lives. Kama uko na shida na anything we are doing with our process, toka peke yako uende. We owe you nothing, you owe us nothing. I want discipline. Nasikia? Kama una kelele hapa, I don't deal like that. Sawa? Nimesema I want a few examples of the people who have been given, because I want to explain to you the process so that you understand. Sawa? So, kujeni hapa, use your... There are jobs here where the agent will tell you the employer is providing for you the air ticket, is providing for you money for this, but is not providing for you your medical fees and maybe your visa fee. And this is a charge, and this is my small commission. There are others especially the European ones, they are telling you the employer is not providing you anything. The employer is providing you a job, lakini wewe ujipange na hiyo German classes, ujipange na hiyo
Do you know what strikes me? Reminds me of what he's saying. What just he reminded me of. If you remember, the main places, two continents, two places that the African slave trade happened. If you read the history, you heard him say it. It was Europe and Arabia. Mutua there is speaking of the most jobs that is coming, and he's talking about agency and whatever. He's saying there's the European market where they need slaves, and it's headed there. They expect you to do physical and all that stuff, which you'll be responsible to pay for and all that stuff. Then they send you there. And then there's the Arabian market. Those were the two main markets, slave trade destinations 400 years ago. And 400 years later, we have this slave driver. Still, it's going on. They still want to recruit the young, strong people, knowledgeable in skill and physically fit. Try to send them in the same marketplace. Destinations. The European market. Because remember, the folks that were sent in the US of A were first sent into England, some parts of Europe. Then they crossed the Atlantic too, made their way to the US of A, the new world. And again, there are those who are shipped from the East Africa up to India, but majority ended up in Arabia. Go read about slavery. It's still going on today. Look, listen to him. He's just telling us. There's the market of Arabia. In Arabia, they don't need the physical for you, the agency is saying. In fact, get your own ticket. Go to Arabia. Turn into a slave. And the European ones are more rigorous in their process. They want you to do your physical, get your own ticket, then go there. This shithead with his boss Ruto cannot think beyond their nose. A good economy, you don't have to be a professor in economics to know this. A good economy is determined by how much a country produces. That country can only produce if its citizens get an opportunity to work on stuff, be resourceful. Whether it's in the agricultural sector, whether it's producing something, as far as the industries where we have textile industry, we have the sugar industry, we have you name it, the mines that are being mined, the parastatals that we want to sell to the private sector. Why can't we improve those and revitalize that? Have these young folks who have engineering degrees and all sorts of degrees to apply the knowledge that they've learned here in this country, being paid the money that you're wasting in giving Raila Odinga 10 billion to go do nothing in the AUC. Pay the teachers, pay the doctors, pay these young folks to improve the different sectors that we have instead of privatizing it to international companies. That will deal with the problem of economy, the unemployment. I see Mabri on the comment section. Mabri, I'll put the link for you. But this thunderhead wants to continue with the slave trade. I told you the two main markets for slave trade was Europe and Arabia. And you heard him say, kama unataka kwenda Arabia, you don't need a physical. We shall send you. What is this? And he has the guts to tell you that we owe you nothing. My blood is boiling. Mutua, let me not meet you. Mutua, come visit Ninio. Come visit huku. Come, let me kuja huku diaspora kidogo. Come to diaspora. I dare you come to diaspora where I am. I double dog dare you. Let me meet you somewhere. Giving a speech. I will take the case that day. I will make sure that my fist meets your chin. I'll chin check you on behalf of all 50-something plus Kenyans. 50 million something. I have to. I'll do it for my country. It will be the greatest service I'll ever do. And I will happily go to jail for that. This man's face actually aggravates me. Let me calm down before I start giving violent speeches here. This is not where I wanted to go with this, but I couldn't help myself. Mabry is here. Let me put the link for Mabry. He probably has something that he wants to share with me. Meanwhile, while he is working on logging in the studio, let me continue and let this clip end, because I can barely go through it all without feeling agitated.
Air ticket ya 90,000, ujipange na hiyo medical yao inataka 60,000. So they'll tell you clearly, the agencies here now are working under my watch. Hakuna mtu hapa atakula pesa ya mwananchi nikiwa mimi Alfred Mutua ndio waziri wa leba. Hakuna. Na hata kama umelipa pesa and you go and you fail your medicals, they will refund close to 95% apart from the small processing fee they used for getting your Zoom and all that. They will refund the money to you.
Naitwa Faith Kamweru, nimetoka Nakuru. Mimi nikikuja hapa, mimi nilikuwa najua hizi job ni free. So tumefika hapa tunaambiwa ati lazima tukuje tena sijui to apply loan. Loan ya nini? Si kama wanataka kutusaidia, watusaidie fully, because ukiniambia mimi saizi nitoe 150,000, sitaweza. Nitatoa wapi 150,000? Alafu hii loan wametuandikia bado. Kwa hizi salary unakuta kama mimi wameniandikia nalipwa 43,000. 43,000 nitamaliza siku gani kulipa hii 150? Nitamaliza siku gani? Hata mimi hata sijui niseme nini. Ati unakuta mwingine kwenda ati ni 400,000. 400,000 na nalipwa mshahara ya 45,000. Nitamaliza kulipa hii 400 lini? Some of us tuna struggle hadi kumaliza ile deni ya HELB. Hatujamaliza na still wametuongezea hizi vitu zingine wanataka tufanye. Kama wanataki kutusaidia, waseme hawataki, na kama wanataka watusaidie fully. Si kutuandikia hapa ati sijui mkuje, sijui. By the way, hai make sense. So, kama wanataka kutusaidia, watusaidie kabisa, na kama hawataki, watuambie hawataki.
Yeah, kwa majina naitwa Felix Kalia, natoka Nakuru. Nimekuja hapa Harvest kutafuta kazi. Kazi yenye nimepata ni kazi ya security. Yes, chenye naweza uliza serikali ni hii kazi tukikuja hapa tulikuwa tumeambiwa ni free. Sasa hii kazi tumefika hapa tunaambiwa sijui nimepata kazi ya security nalipa 70k. Naambiwa nilipe 230k as a commission. Hiyo pesa natoa wapi? Sina kazi yoyote na tulikuwa tumeambiwa kazi hapa ni free. Chenye naweza sema kitu kingine ni tumeambiwa ukipata karatasi umepata kazi. Sasa kila mtu hapa tuko over 2000 people, kila mtu ako na karatasi. Sasa hiyo kazi umepata. Kitu kingine tunaenda hapo kwa interview, tunaambiwa hakuna document yote unapewa. Unaambiwa tu andikisha tu jina na ni hivyo ushapata kazi. Hakuna interview unafanyiwa, ni jina tu na kazi ushapata. So chenye naweza sema hii ni scam. Hapa hakuna kazi.
Kwa majina ni Wycliffe Onyego Nyangiri, ni mkazi wa Nakuru. nimetembea hapa Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology kutafuta kazi. Nimekuja nikapata kazi ziko aina mbalimbali, madereva zote ziko. Mimi specifically nilikuwa natafuta udereva, jumi dereva. Nimefika huko, nimepata kazi, nimejiandikisha. Shida yenye nimeona ni kubwa sana. Ya kwanza, unafika huko unaweza pata mtu hata ana documents wao tu, unaandikishwa kwa hii karatasi, unaandikishwa, unaambiwa ukiandikishwa hii ushapata kazi hata kama ni dereva bila kuangalia hata documents. Secondly, our agents ni wale tumezoea. Miaka ya nyuma wengi wetu vijana tumetafuta kazi nje. Tumeenda kwa hizo agencies kama karibu zote. Na tunaambiwa commission. Same thing ndo wananiambia hapa. Na hiyo serikali imetuambia kazi ni bure, eti ni kitu kidogo tu unaweza lipa ya kukupeleka huko. The other day nisikia CS akisema eti wale wenye kazi walimwambia awapelekee watu na huko. So hii ni biashara, ni kama ni biashara serikali inataka kufanya na sisi kupitia wale maagent tunajua. Kwa sababu huyo agent ananiambia nilipe 250, mshahara napata 60k, naenda kupata 60k huko. Hiyo sasa ni familia nitatumia ama nile deni labda nimekopa mahali nitalipa. Wameleta biashara wameweka ndani na bank. Hii bank ukichukua watakuchukulia loan wakulipia 250 alafu tena ulipe kutoka huko. Hii bank iko na interest. Nikifanya mwaka mzima nilipe hiyo deni labda. Na niko na familia nategemea mwaka na nusu. Nitarudi na nini? So hii ni kama ni scam tu. Hapa passport ndio hii wanasema. Passport imeongezwa, waliongeza pesa ndio tushike. Wameongeza pesa ndio watuambie shika passport, watusukumie kazi uongo, alafu tuchukue passport. Hiyo pesa inaenda kwa serikali. Hiyo pesa inaingia kwa mikono ya serikali. Hiyo ni uongo.
Amari tojita Daniel Kuria Thananga. Tokwirito kwina mawira na twakinya by 5. No tukatwa twahe tora atathi twa buru. Twero ati ni tuona wira. Alafu tukerwo ati
Mabri, huyu rafiki yako Alfred Mutua namna gani? Hebu nieleze, hebu mtete. Huyu rafiki yako Alfred Mutua sijui ni namna gani bwana. Karibu.
Asante. I hope mnanipata vizuri.
Nakupata. Endelea kaka.
Huku baridi imekuwa nyingi bro. Alafu Mutua tu ndiye anatupea joto. Anyway, just a quick
ongeza volume kidogo ama uko mbali na microphone. Okay.
Sahi I hope niko nasikika fiti, ndio?
Sawa, uko sawa. Endelea.
So, a quick one. Kama una understand Mutua vizuri, this should not come as a surprise to you. And maybe I needed to mention something. Ndio maybe uget pia hizi jobs ana offer ni yote ya jobs. Sidhani there is anything in exist because it is not the first time ana bring such a thing on board. Let's go back to when Mutua was the Machakos County governor. That the second term between 2017 to 2022, he introduced the same program in Machakos County. And now this is what he did. Alienda akitangaza, alicome through something we call youth public participation. Akiambia young people, governor akona jobs. Alituma ward admins and other representatives from the county. Akiwaambia governor day fulani anapeana jobs. So kama uko na CV, uko na barua, just come, utapata job. I think it is somewhere on in the media because ili live streamiwa the entire event. So, but your young people are desperate. The same thing is happening the way young people wanna show up in numbers. So kwenda pale, Mutua is so cunning. Akasema is the first politician in Machakos to mobilize young people bila kuwapea handouts na wanatokea in numbers kusupport his bid for presidency. Umeniget?
Yeah. No, your trick.
Yeah, it was a trickery event. So during that event alikuwa ameita wazee wakuje wamcrown kama Kamba Kingpin, you know, hizo semantics and everything. Alafu akaambia the head desk akaambia vijana waende waregister, kuna job za Qatar, Dubai, Saudia, you know, na zinalipa pesa mzuri. The same thing unaona, so it is not the first time and I feel like maybe vile alipewa hii job ya CS anajaribu, you know, for him and Ruto hawana tofauti, they can lie. So it is something that ajaribu
Raise
kuonyesha
profile yake.
the government is doing, but there is nothing. This is not a new program, imekuwa hapo and I can attest to it. Hakuna anybody from Machakos mwenye alifaidika na hiyo program. Watu waliandikisha majina, ID zao zikachukuliwa and everything. You know, the next ilikuwa, it never happened. Ilikanyagiwa tu. Mutua is a very corrupt human being, I'm sorry to say.
Don't be sorry. That's what he is.
I can go on and mention a million of projects zenye Mutua amefanya. I'll tell you about, there is this beautification program yenye ali introduced when he was the governor bado. You can imagine in a region like Machakos, you know, we are basically in the eastern region, na hii ni dry land. It is not like the weather yetu iko like ya Kiambu or so. We experience a lot of sunny
Drought.
days more than even the Nini. Actually, so this guy comes and introduces a beautification program ati wapande maua within the road. Then hii maua, he has to pay someone every day to come and water them. Mwingine wa kulimia, you get.
Yeah.
Then he was advised apande miti instead. Your miti at least will make the place better, and at
Yeah.
least when attract some, you know,
Now with time ina change your
conducive
soil.
environment. Yes.
Yeah.
Alichoose maua na bado hadi wa leo naonaga, I think vile mtu wa Vinya came in na yeye akadua away with the program. Sasa hii inakaa nyasi kwa barabara.
Wavinya amepeleka pesa, hiyo pesa ya kulipa watu ya maua ameipeleka kununua apartments London bwana.
No, but I think unajua ukikasirishwa na Mutua, you'll be a stranger in Jerusalem. That's him. And you know, you remember,
Yeah.
actually during the Gen Z movement, unakumbuka there is this karao mwenye alibreak vidole akijaribu kurusha tear gas ikabreak.
Yes.
Mutua was the first person to appear.
Yes.
And then he was like condemning the young people. Yet huu ni mtu ameumia na nini yake,
Kivi
hata
yake.
angalii huu mtu hata is not alarmed by the fact that someone in the force ajui kutumia tear gas. You get?
Right. Yeah. Sasa
Yes.
wacha nikuulize, kuna vitu ambao zinani nasikia ninashikwa na wasiwasi sana 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 sana. Nataka unielezea kama ushasikia hizi habari. Number one, kuna habari ya hii, kuna mama fulani anasema hakulipwa in this story ya kuninio kuspy or hacking the phones of Raila Odinga, Uhuru, Rigathi and otherwise. Number two, Cheruyot anataka kuleta bill fulani. There's a couple of bills going on in the parliament that are presented in parliament. I think one has to do with what is it? I'm even forgetting. Hold on. It has to do with the livestock. You mpaka brand your livestock. Hizi ng'ombe uko nazo na you have to brand them, whatever the case is. Then there's another one that has to do with IBC not streaming the results live as it happens. They want to stop that, which is also another questionable Then there's another one about selling human body parts. They want to legalize it. Where are we going if this is true? Because I've been reading this and I'm thinking, what is going on? Does this explain what happened in Shakahola? Kwa sababu Shakahola watu walikuwa nakufa. Is there a connection here? Because if they want to legalize selling the human parts, utapata watu wanapotea na wanaenda wanachinjwa, wanakatwa na wanauza mwili zao. Then this livestock thing, and also it has something to do with farming, which is tied to Bill Gates. Erio Cheriot, I'll find that maneno, your article, and I'll bring it here and read it. Basically, it gives control in some people. The wale watu wako na pesa, the rich farmers are the ones who will be able to basically farm, and they tell you how to farm, and it's a really silly. I'll get to that in details. And this live stream IEBC thing, why do they want to stop this idea of IEBC live streaming elections? If you were to have elections, first of all, we don't even have IEBC, but start from where you want. Have you heard about this news, about these bills? And what's your take on it? Because to me, it's just a tragedy.
Yes. Of course, a lot has been happening right now in this nation, and I want to encourage the viewers and every Kenyan, to stay informed and stay vigilant, because they are introducing a million of bills right now to confuse us. Because while you try to disseminate and understand this one, another one pops up. So, one thing, let me start with the issue of that lady who is saying that she was not paid. I don't want to speak about it because I don't have the information. But now, maybe I will look to it. I'll check up on it. Okay. Now, there is about livestock. It has been there, and I even mentioned it here in this channel the other time I was in. There is, and the president had hinted it sometimes back about vaccination of livestock, and so, the first thing the president did when he assumed the office is to revoke the story of GMOs, because there was an injunction, which actually it was a law, I guess, a policy, which was preventing Kenyans from using GMOs. But the minute he stepped into the office, that is the first thing he revoked. So allowing for GMOs to be sold in this country. The other thing now about the livestock, it is happening, and if people don't know, it has a connection with the affordable housing, and this is my analogy and analysis. Growing up, like in an household, we either had, maybe the father, the mother, like the compact family. Then something else which used to encourage people and recognition was livestock. You realized mahali popote kuna boma in any African setting, you will always find a livestock setup. So in an affordable housing setup, which is basically urbanized, you don't have a space for you to keep your cattle, or rather your livestock. You get?
Yes.
So when you discourage people from keeping livestock, of course, you are trying to discourage them from identifying with a particular land.
Yes, because livestock was also a measure of wealth. Ukiwa na ng'ombe mingi, kind of, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want you to look at it in that way, because you'd wonder, what is their interest in this? Why would you want to go to an affordable housing which has over a million streams? You don't have a space for you to keep your cattle and everything. You get? So that's happening because I remember growing up during the Moi era, while they used to have places where we could go as a community and, make sure the cows get dipped and everything. Right now, what is the business with the government and your cattle? You bought with your own money. It is not like they are creating conducive environment for you to afford your cows or goats or anything. You get? So there is a linkage between, and I think I'll confirm with you the country. whereby the issue of affordable housing led to some of livestock being killed. They were saying they are spreading, I don't know which kind of disease they were accusing them of doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it has a thing to do with the World Economic Forum. Maybe you'll check on that
Yes.
later on. Yeah.
Yes.
Now the other
I think.
thing.
Yeah. Go
Sorry.
ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. Nilikuwa nataka kusema tu ninio Steve Mbogo alikuwa kwa Obina show, and I have an 8-minute clip of when he was explaining the connection between the affordable housing and the way the government is working to control our land, basically take away your land, your livestock, the same thing you're just saying. So you're very correct in that analysis. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, yeah, on the new election bill, that's a very alarming one.
Mhm.
So I'll bring you up to speed. Two things have happened. Now, the proposal on the election bill, then if you are following, Musalia Mudavadi just gazetted the 27 new sub-counties and 578 admin units. You know, that was yesterday.
Wow.
So this new
Does he
bill,
has a power to do that? Or I thought,
of course,
is
he's
it?
the acting Minister for Interior right now.
Okay.
So the bill proposes replacing live streaming of presidential resorts. Keyword, presidential resorts, which was introduced in the 2022 election, with a system where results are electronically transmitted to tallying centers within 2 hours of the announcement at polling stations. So the public will only access the results which are in a digital image uploaded in the IEBC portal. You get the tricky part.
Wait, before I thought, mi niko nafikiri hivi, before this is how it worked, if I, and correct me if I'm wrong, every results ambayo ina ninio imekuwa concluded in a polling station inarushwa huko kwa portal ya IBC, and in fact even before even irushwe kwa portal ya IBC, basically the whatever IBC officer ambayo ako kwa hiyo polling station, once washapiga hesabu kwa polling station na all the agents wa Azimio Kenya Kwanza wanapiga sahihi, wamekubaliana ati the results is this and this, and they sign it, then the IBC agent anapiga picha, then he enters this in the IBC system where anybody anywhere in the world can basically log into that portal and see in real time, okay, huko Makueni polling station, Raila amepata ninio 100, Ruto amepata 20, or whatever the case is. So then, you know, what he does, what your agency kishapiga picha, whatever, he will take the results with him na aipeleke Bomas physically,
Yes,
where he will hand over. So even before ideally that's how it is. So even before Chebukati announces the Ninio, because the whatever the commission is supposed to announce, not declare the winner, whatever. So even before Chebukati announced the winner, you can be sitting at home. If you add all the polling stations, the results from the old polling station, because they were being submitted as soon as they were concluded, you can pretty much tell who won the election before even Chebukati declares the winner. How different is it from what Musalia Mudavadi anataka kutuambia?
No, this is not Musalia Mudavadi. This is now
the parliament, sorry.
Cherargei drama. Now, ideally, that's how it is supposed to work. Now, you know, the normal Kenyan setup for an election, we start from a polling station, you know, then from a polling station, we head to a tallying center, which is ideally, a tallying center is supposed to cover like a sub-county, or rather. like let's say, from where I am, I'm in Mavoko right now. So they will set up a
Yeah.
tallying center
Usiseme
at
uliwe huko. Be careful.
na
Wacha kusema pale huko.
niko
But endelea.
Mavoko, niko Mavoko. So what they do, they identify NITA as the tallying center. So all results coming from every polling station, they will be announced at the tallying center
In Mavoko.
in Mavoko. The
Okay.
same with any other constituency. So at the tallying center, they'll only announce the MCA results. So if Mavoko has 4 wards, they will declare there the winners of the representative to the county assembly. Then they will also announce the what do I call the member of parliament who has won. Then they'll announce they declared the two MCAs and MPs at a tallying center, which is at what do I call it? Yeah, a sub-county tallying center. Then the results are transferred again at a county tallying center, whereby they announce the governor, the women rep, and the senator. You get. Then we get to Bomas, where they announce the presidential. So different tallying centers announcing different positions. Umeget sasa?
Mi niko nasema for the presidential one, the way I understood it, before we go to the MCAs and all that, the presidential one, like I said, everywhere where there's a polling station, everywhere, whether it's in Mavoko,
Yes.
Makueni, kama kuna polling station hapo, ya presidential itaannouncewa hapo. Mavoko polling station, yeah.
This is where the tricky part comes. You let's go back to the previous election. The media was covering results from a particular constituency. We already know, like Ruto has this number of votes from a polling station. Like they would come to a place like Mlolongo and focus on presidential results. Now they want to do away with everything. Like the media should not cover results coming from the polling station. They should wait at the tallying center, which is at the national level. Umenielewa sasa? So utapata wewe ukiwa mahali huko, it is easier to calculate. In Mlolongo, according to media, Ruto had 20 votes. In Kondele, he had 15. Hivyo you can combine the numbers.
Yes.
But now you will not access that information, so it will be hard to verify.
Utangoja tuko kwa tallying state center huko ambao wanaweza kucook vitu. So I see what you're saying. Okay.
Now, what you'll be able to get and to access is a digital paper which has been scanned from the polling station. And you remember the case of Osekamago, whereby we are being told they manipulated. They used to manipulate and upload.
Yes.
So by the way, I don't want to blame Cherargei and everyone for this, because it was a recommendation by the National Dialogue Committee. The NADCO report had recommended that. So that's to tell you they were dining on the same table.
Wanaenda kuiba hii kitu. Before I bring Shimu guy, wacha nicheze hii clip by Bob Njagi. It's a very short one, and it has everything to do with what we are talking about. Let me see. Here is saying something just similar as what you're talking about. I mean, in general. It's a very short one. If I can only play it.
Rigging of election happens. It's a process.
Before the actual voting
Before
process.
the voting. Actually, from the selection of the commissioners. That's where it all begins. Right now, we have a tribunal of 9 people, 5 of whom will be selected from political parties, both Kenya Kwanza and Azimio, that is Raila and Ruto. It means that the commission will have, out of 7, about 5 of their proxies. The election has already been stolen. I don't know what we're waiting for. So we have to challenge this act to remove the political parties players from the tribunal, and we are going to a constitutional court to declare it unconstitutional, null and void, because for a commission to be independent, it cannot have proxies of political parties who are participants to the same election. It's like you have a tournament for the Premier League, and then you have Arsenal and Man U choosing the referees. Who's going to win?
Aya, she hata nimesahau jina. Kama wewe pia unaitwa Chief. Karibu sana. Karibu dadangu. Karibu.
Shisha. Astaghfirullah. Hii kitu hii syllabus inakimbia. Nilisikia mtu akisema mpaka kalamu yake ishaisha wino. Ni vile syllabus inakimbia. Hamjambo lakini.
Jambo. Endelea. Karibu.
Hiyo mi IBC sitaongea sana. I want to go back to hii kazi ya Gulf ya Fred Mutua. Hivyo ndo tulidanganywa na Ruto ati Germany tumepewa kazi 2,000 sijui na ngapi. After then tukasikia boom, hakuna kitu kama hiyo. No wonder hata Bishop wameambia Ruto aache keep promises, atimize zenye asha promise mwanzo. No, lakini but kuna kazi especially unaweza pata kazi hizo za free in Gulf country, but lazima the company yenyewe ije ijichukulie watu. Si hivi vile ati Alfred Mutua anasema, na alikuwa shasema ni free. How comes then washageuziwa cards ati mpaka utoe hiyo commission? Unatoa hiyo commission wapi shwari? Hata afadhali waambie mtu haya tunakupeleka kazi, lakini utakuwa unadetectiwa polepole. Lakini 200,000 sasa na hiyo uchumi ya Kenya, unga yenyewe ya 150 inashinda kununua. Ni hiyo 200,000. Like for example, kuna kampuni inaitwa Almarai, a very big company iko Saudi, and the cousin of my husband alipata hiyo kazi for free. But ni HR wa hiyo company kutoka Saudia walikuja huku Mombasa. Wenyewe ndo wanakuja kujichagulia kujichukulia watu wenyewe, si ya government ziko, but it is there kuzipata, na wanafanyanga hivyo once a year. Like I think 3 months ago walikuwa wamekuja na wanatangaza HR wa hiyo kampuni anatoka Saudia, mwenyewe anakuja, watu wanaenda wana apply, mwenyewe ndo wanafanyisha interview, mwenyewe ndo sasa anawalipia kila kitu wanalipa ni medical na hizi kulipa yellow fever, hizi vitu vidogo. Yani maximum kama utatumia pesa nyingi sana itakuwa ni 20k, na si kwa pamoja. Mnaambiwa kama ni hiyo testing utakuja, lakini risiti pia unapewa. Ukishavuka bahari, ukishasafiri sasa, within 3 days pesa zako zenye ulispend huku za medical, sijui yellow fever nini wanakuregeshea. So hii serikali iache kupima watu bangi. Waseme hawana kazi, wanafukuza Gen Z, waende na kula huko, yani hawataki kusikia 2027 kuna Gen Z iko Kenya. Na watu maskini wanatesikia huko Qatar. Kuna video naona wanalala nje, wanafanya Sodom na Gomora, hawana kazi. Mpaka maagent wenyewe hawana kazi. Wapi huko hiyo government imetoa hiyo kazi? Na pia government ya Qatar kuna siku ilisema hatuna hizo kazi. Maagent wenyewe wanakuambia sahi hatuna kazi. Sasa hii ya government inatoka wapi? So napeleka watoto watu wakakufe huko, wakatesekea huko. Let's get rid of corruption, watafutie watoto wetu kazi huku bana. Wachaenda kuumia. Kwanza especially watoto wa kike wanaenda huko kujiuza. Sasa hiyo ni kazi gani? Si hata afadhali tu aende hii Konange tu Nairobi apate 200 yake, na jioni anaenda kuangalia watoto wake. Si vizuri. Lakini mi naona ni kama kura, kama election tushaibiwa. Tunasemanga tushaibiwa. Hivi vile wanaenda hii ati sijui elections zitakuwa hazitakuwa na mystery. Hapana. Tushaibiwa kabisa. Lakini tuombe tu Mwenyezi Mungu. Sasa mahali imefika ni sisi na kuomba Mwenyezi Mungu. Ni yeye tu atatutolea huyu ugaidi. Ni yeye tu atatutolea. Ona kama juzi Burkina Faso pia nao wamelipa nini? Wamelipa deni yao, hawana deni after mali na ni miaka 2. Kwani ni milako gani huyo Burkina Faso anafanya na mali wanafanya nini? William Ruto hawezi fanya hiyo milako. Na ni mtu wa kanisa, bibi yake ni pastor. Sijui hata nini bibi yake siampatie mawaidha kidogo, watu wanateseka kabisa. Mimi hata nilikuwa naomba Mwenyezi Mungu nipa hela mimi naweza gula nikaenda nikakaa Burkina Faso, nirudi Kenya jenzi kichukua ushukani. Nachoka.
Hata bibi yake
wacha tu nirudi.
Haya. Nilikuwa nasema tu bibi yake Ruto. Nilikuwa nasema bibi yake Ruto alikuwa asema ilikuwa wiki iliyopita alikuwa asema ati kama sisi tumefail basi mtusamee. Tutazidi kuomba
tuwasamee maneno. Sasa Ligijisi aliwaomba msamaha tena hadharani. Mbona hiyo siku wao hawakutaka kumsamehe lakini wao wanataka wasamehewe? Kwani wao ndo kina nani hawataki kusamehe lakini wao wanataka wasamehewe? Lakini mimi naona Ligiji kutoka ofisini it was a blessing in disguise. Hatungejua hizi siri zote by the way. Adani ingeenda Ligiji akiwa ndani. Kila kitu kingeenda lakini tunashukuru hivyo. Tuombe tu Mwenyezi Mungu atupe uhai na tupate pumzi ya kupush tomorrow.
Naam, shukran. Haya Mabri.
Hata niambie kitu. First of all, it's unfortunate Gava does not care and we don't expect it to care. 2.5 years down the line, they are still giving promises as if they are campaigning. Kitu moja, maybe nikwambie, bibi Ruto si pastor. Bibi Rigiji ndiye alikuwa pastor. Bibi Ruto ni Mkristo.
Wote walikuwa pastor. Both wa pastors.
Ushaona bibi Ruto akihubiri mahali?
Tuliambiwa ni bibi ya pastor. Ruto alituambia he has a prayer warrior as a wife.
Yeah, prayer warrior. Him prayer who is not being a minister. Kila mtu anaweza omba.
Basi sijui tutafanya aje.
Alikuwa na capacity ya kumobilize mapasta kwenda State House na kuwapea brown envelope. But nataka ujue akuwa pasta. Bibi Rigiji umemwona akihubiri mahali 1 2 3. Ushaona Bibi Ruto mahali na Biblia kwa kanisa akihubiri?
They were pretenders. Lakini tuliambiwa bibi ni pastor na pia Waligiji ni pastors.
Hata angalia vile amekosa Rigiji, si umeona mapasta wote wamego against yeye. Because the idea of pastors ililetwa ndio watumie kanisa during campaign period. Ililetwa tu ndio watumie.
Na kanisa ya William Ruto ni gani? Ni gani juu manake kila siku anatanga kwa makanisa. Kanisa yake ni gani nyinyi mwenye mnajua?
Santajuaje mimi? Mimi ni kanisa ya shetani, sijui ni kanisa ya nani, ibilisi shetani.
Kanisa yake ni ile
ya Rabbi, hata sijui jamani. Mimi hata angekuwa anaenda wakiwa chumbani anaambia bwanake, jamani vile unafanya si vizuri, mwenzako ashaomba msamaha, msamehe kakako, lakini wapi? Lakini yeye expect wananchi wamsamehe.
Lakini mimi nasema hivi, kama bibi yake alisema vile alisema mwaka iliyopita, wiki iliyopita, vile alisema ati tuwasamee kama hawajafanya nini, hawajarekebisha uchumi. Kusema hivyo yamaanisha kuwa wamejua kuwa na nini, hii serikali yake haifanyi kazi. Unaona, ni kama ameadmit kweli.
Ni kweli. Good.
So they know they're not doing ninio. They are doing the kazi yao.
Advice yangu ni Ruto juu mpaka badi wenye wanamuadvise ni vibaya. Aende kwa Ibrahim Toale, ampatie advice, aje atengeneze nchi. Juu wote wako na miaka 2. Ni milako gani huyo anafanya na huyu hawezi fanya? Na yule ni mtoto kuliko kuliko huyu Zakayo.
Mbadi ni chizi, hata tuseme Mbadi ni chizi.
Mimi niko na advice moja tu kwa Ruto. Naona ukitembea Nairobi, sijui umetoka mtaa gani, lakini hayopo uko tu Nairobi. So ukitembea unaona hivi
mimi ni banana hapo, lakini mkaaji wa Mombasa.
Msiseme pale mko staki mkujiwe na Faruk.
Sasa yeye anaweza tusaidia. Unaona ukitembea kuna mabango yameandikwa mganga anasaidia kutibu kazi na shida aende tu
na mapenzi
huko, labda hii kazi tulimpa na pia apate mapenzi kwa Kenya.
Sasa tuanze kwenda kwa waganga sasa.
Ni Ruto itabidi, manake kanisa haifanyi. Ni Ruto ataenda huko kwa waganga, manake hata hiyo kanisa haifanyi, haimtaki. Yaani mwenyewe tu hata ibilisi atampata.
Yaani hata niseme hivi for the record. Unajua kama Ruto if he was serious anataka ku create jobs in this nation. This government by the way create its own problem na ina try ku address. Ushaona the government is playing the government and opposition. This is the first one. Because ukiangalia the problem of young people ni ku afford the lifestyle right now. Sahi kuishi Kenya is costly as a young person. Na ukiangalia we don't want to go to Qatar or anywhere. We introduce two policies. As a young person, if nikifungua biashara I can get a license at an affordable rate. It favors me to do business. When I'm doing business, I employ others and so and so. We also want policies like tuliona there are easy niniza. If you are going to do tender, 30 should be allocated to young people, of which nowadays Atwoli is si Atwoli ilikuwa the former deputy president alikuwa itwa nani? Alikuwa anawakilisha mayouth. Mudiawori is a young person at 90. So if ange implement policies zenye zina favor young people ku run businesses, bro, sai if I want to compete in the market sina hata uwezo, because the moment nafungua kibanda Kanjo amekuja, the following day nimeko hata kwa lori nimelala ndani, and for what? Because right now you expect me nifungue biashara yangu, license ni nyingi. Like sai ukiamua kufungua Wine and Spirit, which is a basic business yenye anyone anafikiria kuweka, license ni nyingi kuliko capital. You have to pay sijui NEMA, sijui you have to pay how much kucheza muziki, now you have to pay kwa Kanjo. They are a lot. I even did a calculation nikapata for you to open a standard Wine and Spirit shop, you must have like 80,000 going to licenses. Is it fair?
Yeah, that's not fair. Vile kuna sema shida ya Kenya, the problem with Kenya ni number one, corruption. Hii pesa nyingi napotea. So unasikia Mbadi alikuwa anatuambia ati they are losing 2 billion a day or something. The same thing Uhuru told us years back. So imagine hii pesa tuna lose every day, hizi mabilioni na hizi mabilioni wanakula. Okay? These debts that they're taking. Hizo pesa, if you deal with the corruption, hii pesa inapotea. Number one, ilipe madeni. Wale watu walichukua madeni wazilipie kwa sababu the constitution say odious debt these people they can be responsible for individually. So ukimaliza corruption, hii pesa tuitumie to reinvest in different industries. That's the number one thing you can do. Revitalize the industries we have. Tunajua saizi Tsavo wanachukua minerals inapelekwa kwa process nje ya Kenya. If you just the minerals alone hizi ambazo zinatolewa utengeneze pale, unaweza kuninio refine hizi gold refining whatever vile Burkina Faso walifanya. The number one thing they took control of their uranium and their gold and their cotton field. Waliambia French kimbie tokeni hapa hivi. So if you do that and you create an industry out of that, hizi factories ambazo zinakufa Mumias, Rivertex nini uzi revitalize, that creates jobs. Hizi parastatals, run them as they should be, employ people there are so many people capable, people who can do these jobs. Enough is enough to employ a huge number of youth. Alafu vile umesema Mabri, you're very correct. Create an environment where starting a business does not require you to have 80,000 whatever through certificates alone. Yeah?
If I may say something, although Kenya kuna corruption, I feel any dysfunctional government will always blame corruption for its dysfunctionality. You know, I want to say this. Let me say this. You see, what is happening in this nation right now is not a problem of corruption. It's rather a problem of policies and what they did. You know, when Ruto came in, he changed the policies whereby now big companies kama ulikuwa na nini, you had moso zenye zinatoa vitu from outside the country, you know, kwa port wakaongeza taxes. You get, most of them zili have run to Tanzania. Is it a question of corruption or policy making? We all agree there is corruption to some extent, but how much did it take to impeach Rigathi? It was a matter of legislation.
Yeah, but mina sema hivi, there is no... Okay, sorry.
Let me just finish. I agree there is corruption to some extent, but I'm saying if we have better policies, we'll be able to address the corruption. But now, when you tell me, for me to set up a kibanda in Kenya, I have to pay 80,000. Is it, you know, that 80,000, I don't have it, you know. First, to pay the government like for licenses, if I pay 80,000, it means I need another 80 for me to set up my station. That means for a starter, I need 160 something. You get? It is a matter of you implement good policies, zenye zitafanya at least, although there is corruption, I'll first have to do this job. You know, I'll set up my kibanda at an affordable rate. You get? That's where I'm coming from. And I have a problem with Mbadi because Mbadi vitu anasema akiwa nje ya gava alikuwa anaongea tofauti. You get?
Yeah.
And hii talk ya 2 billion, I think alichukua tu ile ya Uhuru akaileta hapa ndio tukae nothing is working. Bro, this ukiambiwa zile pesa watu wameboro, you know, it is a policy issue because there is a policy which dictates how much they should borrow. Is it being implemented? No, it is not. So, corruption is way too broad, and nimekwambia any government will always come and blame corruption. But ukiulizwa, me I'm asking, like the NYS scandal, acha tu nikupeleke back then, a lot of pesa ilipotea, si ndio? Tukachezewa back and forth. You know, it was a matter of, you are the CEO of this nation. The way, if the government is not functioning, we are blaming the president. You get?
Yeah.
Bro, ukipewa pesa hii channel na ipotee, utaanza kusema sijui, Mabri alikuja hapa siku fulani akaingia 3 minutes, he took 3 minutes of my time and time is money. You get? You want to give us stories. It is okay, there is corruption, but if you know 2 billion shillings inapotea, why don't you mention those who are stealing?
Yeah, kwa sababu ndio maana nasema the reason why corruption is the main thing, kwa sababu kama niko corrupt, hata niko ina policies nzuri gani, it won't work because I'm also getting a kickback from all those. Ndio maana unaona all these companies za kutoka nje zinasema we don't want to do business in Kenya because they always ask for a kickback. Wanataka sijui ati 15-30% sijui nini ma bribes mingi. Ndio maana nasema you can have the best policy in the world, but if you have a corrupt government officials, starting from the president down to the whoever, janitor, hizo policy you cannot implement them and they will not work because watu wanataka kuchukua hongo, watu wataiba. These loans that you're borrowing before hata zifike huko, tunaambiwa hata zifike hata CBK zimeenda kwa private accounts, so the money will not be there kama Kemwarer, Aror na hizo mambo mengine, na hii mambo mengine ya sijui SGR na mambo mengine. The policy was nice, tulikuwa tunataka kujenga a new train, but where did the money go? Hatujui. Same thing with Ruto. So the policies, you can have wonderful policies, but if you don't take care of that corruption ninio, nothing will move. Shina kuona ulikuwa unasema unataka kwenda mahali, hebu toa maoni yako. Na by the way nitamaliza in like 10 minutes, so poleni kwa sababu mpaka niingie kazini kidogo.
Wajua acha hii story ya corruption, hakuna repercussion. They do corruption but hakuna repercussion. Ingekuwa hao watu wanachukuliwa hatua, at least wangekuwa wanaogopa. Hiyo kesi ya NYS, Waiguru alisafishwa, akasafishwa, boom, akakuwa governor. Ingekuwa hii inatia mkazo, inasema kama wewe umeshukiwa na corruption, for the time being until you will be proven guilty, you are not supposed to vie for any seat in the government. Lakini unasikia sijui fulani ameshutumiwa na branda na skando ya fulani, lakini nakuja hivi anasafishwa, anaingia tu kwa government. Apore zaidi. Wakikopa pesa, haya tumekopa pesa za kujenga barabara fulani, lakini zikishafika Kenya, hatutajenga barabara, wacha tujenge SGR. So pesa zinashiftiwa kwa the program yenye ilikuwa haiko. Ushaona? Sasa hapo inakuwa ni shagara bagara, hakueleweki ni vipi. You borrow more, you do less.
Yeah, kweli kabisa.
You pay more, yeah, you pay more, you utilize less. Sasa hiyo ni nini?
Yeah.
So mimi nafaa yani at least kukuwe na repercussion. Kama mtu ameshikwa na scandal, tufanye kijapan ama kichina. Kwani China wao ndo wanatukopea pesa? Kwani hiyo ni magicians gani wanafanyanga? Wao hawana deni, wao ndo wanakopea watu. Kwani hao wanaendanga kwa Mungu wanatoa pesa huko? Si ni policy na nini zao na hash judgment, whatever it is, at least nchi yao inakuwa straight. Lakini huku tutaishi kuimba unless we get it from top to bottom, ama from bottom up, wote waende tuanze afresh. I think that is what will save our country. Bure makampuni inakuja huku wanalipishwa taksi nyingi, wanaenda. Sasa nasikia kuna mswada wa kulipisha kuku. Yaani mimi nimefunga kuku zangu hapa 3, lakini nizitafutie passport, sijui nizitafutie nini. Nitafanya hivyo siku saa ngapi? Hapo kumekuja hii flu, zote zimekufa. I'll be told to go and get nizitafutie death certificate mali tunaenda.
Yeah.
Sasa mambo ya birth certificate, death certificate zimeongezwa bei. Sasa hebu niambie, yule maskini uko pale mwenye anazalishwa na mkunga na mkunga atapataje hiyo 1000 ya kwenda kuchukua birth certificate? I will agree with my brother Mabri hapa. Nikitaka kuanzisha kibanda 1000, inatakikana ni ITK inatoa wapi? Na nataka niende sokoni nikanunue sukuma ya 500 na nije nianzishe biashara. Sasa mpaka hiyo kibanda hapo kwangu mlangoni hapo kwa gate pia nalipishwa tax. Jamani, si wanataka tukufe na depression. Vijana huku kijana anaenda kwa barabara kama ni chizi, na si kupenda. Ndio maana sasa hata wizi huko, mtu alikuwa si mwizi lakini inabidi aibe ndo ashibe. Sasa hata mkono kufika kinywani ni shida kabisa. So wafanye watafute polisi nzuri, wapigane na corruption vilivyo, si hii ya kubembeleza. Na kila siku ana donate 6M. Hizo 6M wazazi wako kwa hospitali. Angekuwa anachukua hiyo 6 million, anaenda analipia watu hospitali wanatoka. Lakini kila siku tumetenga bilioni 1, tumetenga milioni 800, anatoanga hizi pesa wapi na budget Pesa zinalilisiwa na nani kwa budget? Ndio kila siku tumetenga bilioni 1, jana sijui alitenga bilioni ngapi. Anatoa wapi hizi pesa?
You know, hata tu niongeze something from what she is saying, and it should worry us. Kithure Kindiki is the immediate former interior CS. Akiwa CS wa interior, akwa anatenda rambe, he had no money to donate. Immediately ameingia kwa executive, hata wiki ijaisha anapata 5 million ya kwenda kudonate. Doesn't it sound peculiar?
Yeah.
Hata hivyo kuna mtu aliuliza hivyo juzi, akiwa kwa CS alikuwa hana pesa za kutoa sadaka kanisani. Immediately ameasimu office in 1 month ashapata milioni 2 za kutoa sadaka. Amezitoa wapi? Si azipeleke hospitalini jamani, watoto wenyewe watoke huko na mabili. Wizi nasema kama Morala, wizi bila kazi.
That's actually something interesting about the first time Kithure Kindiki alienda church kudonate. When he was donating the 2 million, something happened. Alienda akaongea, then akaambia watu wa press, nataka kutoa sadaka, sasa mnaweza zima hizo vitu zenu. Sijui kama mliona hiyo clip akiwaambia wazime atoe sadaka.
No, sikuona. I'll find that clip.
Ni vile tu alishindwa kuambia direct, akawaambia sasa simzime kamera zenu, sasa shughuli imeisha, nataka kupeana mchango wa nini. He said that.
Wow. To be kitu niko nataka kusema, tuko na sheria nzuri, tuko na ninio, we have good laws that, in fact, to just summarize what we were talking about, I think we have laws that are in place that deal with corruption na hii mambo yote. The problem is, and it ties into kitu Mungai alikuwa anasema there's no repercussions. Nobody is being held responsible, accountable for easy pesa zinapotea, corruption, whatever. If we are to follow the law to the T as we are supposed to, whether the Neoism acts and the constitution thereof, hawa watu walikuwa naiba pesa kwa serikali, whether from the days of Kenyatta 1, Moi, Kibaki, Uhuru, na now Ruto, they should be brought to account and bring back the money they've stolen. Na hawa watu wanaendelea kuiba, wanafaa pia washikwe na wafungwe kama wameiba. That could free up a lot of money that can help implement the wonderful policies that we want to use to develop the country. So the problem is the rule of law. No one is following the rule of law, especially from the executive side. Na unaendelea chini, executive amenunua kila mtu, whether it's judiciary ama kila mtu. Sawa basi, wacha nianze na Shia alafu tuende Mabri. Maoni yenu ya mwisho kabla sijafunga. Hii ni the first session, tarudi tena usiku wa manane. Sasa mkiwa kama mtakuwa bado mko mjalala, basi mtanipata baadaye, lakini hebu nipatie maoni yako ya mwisho kabla sijafunga hii session ya kwanza. Tuanze na Shia alafu tuende Mabri.
I think me Abdan, let Mabri take the seat.
Sawa, shukran. Haya Mabri.
Okay, yeah. Let me say this. If you want to fight corruption in this nation, we have to make sure every nini of government is independent, every arm, and being independent. May I feel, and I still support this idea of separating CDF from the legislative body, which is the parliament, because when we are looking at the Kenyan constitution, kuna vitu mbili, we tend to look at them upside down. The problem with this nation is not even the president, and we saw it a few days ago with the Rigathi impeachment. We realized the power that the members of parliament have. If they can recall a deputy president, it tells you the president is not supreme. Supreme power lies with the members of parliament and then the public. You remember the story of this thing Uhuru wanted to pass with Raila. What did they call it?
BBI.
Yes, the BBI.
Mm-hmm.
In the court's pronunciation, they say you can never separate the president and the presidency. Like he cannot come with an initiative and cite this is a popular initiative. You get?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But if it came from the parliament, it would have passed because that is the supreme body. The court basically looks at the 1, 2, 3 which have happened. But if there is a house which we ought to hold responsible, it is the parliament. Because Murara has been going around showing what is happening, the corruption which is happening. Have you seen anyone, any committee summoning anyone from Murara revelations? No. No. The other person we need to hold accountable is the people we call political party leaders. Those are the cartels we have in this nation. In fact, msiambiwe kuna cartel wengine. Those are the main cartels. And you know how? If you, as a president, you want to pass a bill, you don't need to call Jalango, you don't need to call Otiende Amolo, you only need to call Raila Odinga. Because he's the ODM party leader. Of course, he'll have 100 MPs ready to pass. Atawaita awaambie nyinyi fanyeni hivi. If you go against the party, they want to suspend you. If you want to pass something, you need to call Kalonzo. You know, these party leaders, mtu asikudanganya ati Raila has no power, Kalonzo has no power. They have the numbers in parliament, and hapo ndio they manage kusumbua the government of the day. So those people need to be held accountable. Probably we look at that the other time. Allow me to comment briefly on story ya Ruto in Kisumu. Tuliona vile alienda huko watu wakajaa, wakaimba nini, but I want to say a few things. Actually, I'll be brief in a minute ndio pia nisikukalishe. One thing, when you see such a crowd, acha nikwambie, you need to look at ilikuwa siku gani? It was on a Tuesday or Monday?
I think it was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday. That is a working day. For you to manage to amass such numbers, coming to just shout for you, ulabalu and do, it simply means the rate of unemployment is very high. That was expose number one. Because mtu ako kazi angepata hiyo time ya kwenda kupiga kelele hivyo. Number two, the question of the president putting this country in a campaign mode. Why is the president addressing Kenyans on top of vehicles? Ni kama tuko time ya election.
Yeah.
Because probably he has nothing to launch. Because ingekuwa it is a project yenye na nini, you go make a dias and everything, then you address your people from there and you leave. Stories za kusimama juu ya magari, it is during the political period. Now, the third one, sijui kama uliona a clip 2 days ago from the senator for Kisumu. Anaitwa nani this guy? Ni Tom Ojenda or something.
Akilipa watu.
Akipea watu 200, what do you assume of that? Walilipa watu walilipa watu ndio waatendii kitu.
Yeah.
But now the president, acha nikwambie, ako in a hot soup. He needs to realize he's the president. Kalonzo ndiye sayafa akimake promises na kina Murara. He should not be making any promise. Now, the last thing I get from the Kisumu trip is simply to tell you, msi expect 2027 ikuwe tofauti.
Yeah.
That is the image of what the ground will be. Because we niambie, mtu ulimuona hapo akishout Ruto tosha. chances za kummanipulate during time ya kupiga kura aende apotie Ruto ziko aje? They are very high, extremely high. So that is the state of the nation, and we should be worried because in Kenya we have a different campaign period na different ruling period. Ruto anaweza ua watu until akuwe declared na ABC, atakuja bado atatupromise na tutasahau aliua watu daily.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
during campaign period, like we tend to separate both the person, the candidate, and the president. But Ruto is acting like he's both right now. Hatutaki promises, bro. We just need to see delivery. Yeah, that's it from me.
Thank you very much. The only thing I would say is that najua ulikuwa nasema we shouldn't blame the president but the parliament legislative body. I think the reason why people are blaming the president is because we understand the president has amenunua the whole legislative body. So each of the people who are supposed to be representing us directly, the legislative arm of government, the MPs and the senators who are supposed to oversight, legislate, and I don't know, lawmaking, whatever. They've been bought by Ruto. So Ruto akitaka kitu anapitisha kwa sababu amelipa watu. Then judiciary pia imenunuliwa. So that's why we are saying Ruto is the problem, is not the legislative. Well, the legislative are also the problem because wamenunuliwa, of course. But the problem stems from the executive branch of government, because the constitution, vile ililetwa 2010, was supposed to separate these powers, as you rightfully say. They should be independent, executive, legislative, na judiciary. But they're not independent because bado tuko kama vile tulikuwa before, where the president had so much powers, alikuwa na influence the judiciary, the legislative body, and it's still been going on. Uhuru did it, Ruto is still continuing with this. That's why unaona people, yeah.
Sorry to cut you short.
Yeah, go ahead.
Acha niseme then
1 minute then tumalize.
Acha ni comment on that. Unajua reason nakwambia we blame the parliament is simple. When we take the blame to the president, the MP will always go take the bribe, anapitisha, the blame inabaki kwa president. With the finance bill, kama uliona trend ilikuwa imeanza kuchange.
Yeah.
Vile MPs walirealize wako kwa nini rada wa Kenya, majob zao zimeanza kutandikwa, magari zao zimeanza kukimbizwa, si wali pressure president akadecline hiyo story.
Yeah.
So it comes a point whereby when you pressure your MP, hata chukua hiyo bribe, hata kuwa naitiwa anasema tafadhali watu wangu ground wanaongea vingine.
Ni ukweli, ndio maana tulikuwa tunataka the Gen Z. Kumbuka Gen Z walikuwa wanataka kuanza kurecall their MPs. But again, that's the reason why Ruto na hao wakina watu wa nini Azimio, they don't want to implement this to constitute IEBC, because wamejua reconstitute IEBC, people will start recalling their MPs. Our MPs wote wali vote for the finance bill. Ndio maana they are delaying it, because remember kuna kesi ilienda mpaka kwa Supreme Court where I forget which constituency, watu wali collect ma signatures wakitaka kutoa MP fulani, but wakaenda kotini.
Matira constituency.
Yes. Alafu hiyo story ikaenda kwa courts. Alafu the Supreme Court actually pronounced itself by saying that as it stands right now, we don't have an IBC mpaka tuwe na commissioners na the chairperson in order to be considered an IBC, because hizo ma signatures zinafaa kuwa verified by the IBC. So unaona hao watu are the same ndio maana the first thing they did was to pass that IBC amendment bill, which is an act, it's law right now. Na vile umesikia Njagi amesema watu wa these two political factions ndio wata choose who is being the commissioner. Na hata hivyo hawataki kuweka hiyo kwa sababu wamejua if they do, the people will start recalling these MPs one by one. And after they recall them, they'll put MPs who will do what they need. And that is impeaching Ruto. So they're delaying it. That's because they know they are trying to avoid this whole thing being impeached, being recalled rather, our MP. So you're right. And that's Naruto alijua hiyo shida ndio maana unaona nini hiyo. I see Brother Benson in the comment section. Brother Benson, karibu sana. That's my brother from another mother. Please, mwende kwa channel yake pia. He always talks politics. Mwende mka subscribe hapo, like, share, comment and all that stuff. They always talk all this stuff. Nani anasema hapo huyu, I think I know who he is. Anasema make Mabri pray to close the show. Mabri unaambiwa uombe.
I'm not a spiritual human being. Hiyo niliachia Ruto.
Ulia tuite Rachel hapa tuombe.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Anyway, nitafunga saizi. I'll come back later. Tomorrow I will be here. I'll be here tomorrow. Nitaanza mapema tena. It will be a long marathon one, so jiprepare sana. But I'll be here in the evening. Itakuwa saa 6 usiku sometimes. If I'm not, I'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place. But thank you so much, Mabri. Tuonane, I'll be more organized hapa nilikuja nika freestyle. But thank you so much everyone that who has been watching. Mabri, thank you so much. I'm glad to see you. Uko hai, uko Mavuko ama ni Mavuko? Nisema mko wapi?
Wataka kuambia Ruto nini wewe? Nimekudanganya.
Pole. Ruto, I meant to say ako huko nini, ako huko Kilgoris. Ako Kilgoris. Mabri ako Kilgoris. Sawa. I'm just nani Ruto tusamee, tunaongea tu mambo yetu.
Tupatane jioni basi.
Sawa basi, shukran. Nitakuja jioni. I just walk here, mom, whatever you name me. I think that's KK. But yeah, Brother Benson pia kila mtu, thank you so much. Mariam alikuwa hapa, thank you so much pia. Pritpal Kaur and everyone else who has been watching me on X and Twitter. I can't see who's there. But if you're watching on Twitter, please come to my YouTube channel, it's Kenya Revolutionary. Kuja or subscribe, like, share, comment. And unipate in the evening, I will come in live so we can have this discussion. Maybe I'll be joined by some more people where we can have these interactive discussions about what's happening in Kenyan politics and all that good stuff. Ama namna gani? Sawa guys. Please like the video. That's the first order of business. Usisahau. Subscribe. Unangoja nikuchape ngumi. Subscribe. Sawa. All right. Like, share, comment and all the good stuff. Tutaona jioni. Sawa. Peace and blessings. Peace.